I don't know who this is for, but you are not healing. You are distracting yourself from the pain. Welcome back to Growing Isn't Pretty. I'm Nyleeta, and today, I'm feeling vulnerable. I won't lie to you guys. I've just come back from therapy. Your girl is feeling vulnerable today. Our therapy session was deep today. It was deep. I am in a group therapy, so there's about 7 other women in the group. I think I make 8. Oh no, there's 6 of us in the group, and then I make 7. And then we have 3 psychotherapists that also lead the group. So it's intense. It's a lot when everyone's sharing their problems and their trauma and their experiences. It can be quite heavy. And one of the things that came up today was I'm also aware that some of you might be watching this at a later date, and today might not be your today, but today is Wednesday the 9th of April. And some of the things that came up today, I obviously won't speak about other people's experiences, but some of the things that came up, a topic that came up, was the idea and the feeling that you are healing yourself, and that I'm growing and I'm getting better and I'm becoming a better version of myself and I'm evolving as a person, and I don't feel like things don't trigger me as much as they used to anymore, and I'm so much better than I was before. But what you're actually doing is you're suppressing how you feel. You're not handling what needs to be handled. You're not, confronting these emotions. You're not dealing with your past. You're suppressing it, and you are neglecting your mental well-being because it feels like you are on the surface level able to cope with life. And that for me was like, it was intense. I won't lie to you guys. It was an incredibly intense session today, and it hit deep, because one of the girls was basically saying, like, I was sharing a bit of my experience in life, and she was like, it seems like you're confronting your emotions quite head on. And I was like, I am now. I wasn't always. And she was like, yeah, I avoid mine. Like, I don't even touch on mine, to be honest. I kind of completely look the other way. And I was like, okay, so how so? And then she started describing stuff, and I was like, that sounds familiar. That sounded a little bit like me. Like, what? And it had me thinking. So obviously you start reflecting after that, and I'm sitting there and we're all sharing. People are crying. We're comforting each other. We're supporting each other. Come out, get home. And I was sitting there, I was cooking, and I was like, do you confront how you feel, or have you been suppressing it this whole time? And part of me is like 50-50. I think what a lot of us do is we acknowledge that something has happened, or I need to grow from this situation, or whether it was sexual abuse, whether it was emotional abuse, domestic abuse, you acknowledge that something in your past has happened. It could have been bullying in school, it could have been your upbringing, instability in your household, financial problems in your household that have completely corrupted your view on money. Whatever it is for you, you can fill in the blank for yourself. There is always something that we all need to be growing from, getting better from, evolving from. And a lot of the time, we all think that we are doing something. We are proactively, trying to get better and be better. And I'm not ignoring the problems, but I'm also everyone else's therapist. I'm not ignoring the problems, but I'm also super busy at work. I'm not ignoring the problems, but when I get home, I numb myself by doing X. I'm not ignoring the problem, but I watch TV 24/7 and I never get out of bed. I'm not ignoring the problem, but I do this thing. And you might feel like that is not ignoring the problem. In my opinion, unless you are sitting down, journaling out your feelings, going for walks and thinking about it, unless you are giving that emotion, giving that situation time, space and energy, you are distracting yourself as opposed to aggressively and directly solving the issue. So, quick pause because I need to blow my nose. I'm not gonna let you watch me blow my nose, but I have a whole roll of tissue because that hay fever be getting me. What I'm trying to say is if from the moment you wake up in the morning, you are super proactive, you are distracted by the kids, you're distracted by the husband, you're distracted by the wife, you're distracted by this person, by that person, by this thing, by that thing, you're on your phone, you're doom scrolling, and the second you get into the taxi or the car, or you jump on the train or the bus or whatever, and you're going to work, you're scrolling and you're doing all these other things, and then you get to work and you're super busy throughout the whole day, and then you come home and then you just sit down and you watch TV for hours on end, or you lose yourself in a book completely, or you bury yourself in your friends' problems and you help solve their issues, and you help solve this person's thing, and you help do this family member's thing and that family member's thing, and then you go to sleep and you wake up and you do that all over again. That is your wake up to bedtime. That is your Monday to Sunday. And at no point during that time have you carved any time out for yourself. I'm not just talking about taking a bubble bath and then watching television, right? I'm talking about at no point have you taken time to sit down and go through your past experiences, right? Some people don't agree with that. Some people believe that, if you put your energy towards that thing, more bad things will come from it. I disagree. I've tried both ways. I've tried ignoring the past and focusing on the present, and it's left me feeling weighed down and confused by my actions, because I'll be doing things that have a direct correlation with past experiences, but because I haven't dealt with those past experiences, I'm currently living in a manifestation of not dealing with those past experiences and then questioning where they're coming from. And then I flipped it, and then I did the opposite. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to address the problems. And when I started to address the problems, I was like, oh, that's why I do this thing. That's why I procrastinate on this. That's why I'm always late for this. That's why I do this thing. That's why this keeps happening. This is why I keep having this behavior. This is why this experience keeps showing up. This is why that thing keeps triggering me. And until you get to that point, until you acknowledge that the reason I am where I am, who I am is because of the past experiences, until you've acknowledged that and addressed it, you're going to be in a loop, a continuous loop of I don't like my life, I'm not happy, I'm not content, I'm not proudful, I have so much doubt, I can't trust this person, I don't believe I can have that thing, I don't love the way that I look, I don't love the sound of my voice, I don't trust the sound of my voice, I don't trust my opinion, I don't trust that person, I don't believe in this, I can't have that, this won't happen, that. Until you acknowledge where you are where you are because of your past, you will stay stuck in this loop. That is my belief. Some people might say, no, that's not the truth. Or some people might say that's not real. Like, when we look at law of attraction, you attract what you put your energy into. And I believe if you put your energy into yourself, you will attract more of your authentic self. And dismissing your past experience, especially if they were horrendous, by the way, because in my group, some people's experiences were horrible. And if you're dismissing that and continuing life as if that never happened to you, you're going to be living in this loop of what's going on. You're going to live in this, I don't know what's happening and why it's happening. The why is your past. So you have to acknowledge the past to be able to say, oh, that's why this keeps occurring. That's why I keep falling for the same kind of person. That's why I keep falling in love with XYZ person. That's why I'm looking for this love that I didn't get in this new damaged, unhealthy, toxic relationship. That's why I allow my boss to talk to me like shit at work. That's why I keep taking on my friends' burdens and not being able to say no. That's why I lack boundaries in this area with my kids. That's why, until you acknowledge why things are happening the way they are happening, changing them is going to be difficult. Now, some people, and I'll say this now, some people can be like, oh, I procrastinate, well, I ain't never gonna do that again. Or some people can be like, oh, do you know what, I keep going for men that are unhealthy, that don't know their self-worth, and they keep putting me down, or they're narcissists. I'm never going to go do that thing again. And then they just don't do it. Like, amazing, great, congratulations, you're closest to Jesus. But in my opinion, 90% of us, 95 even, I might push it that way, 95% of us are like, I feel trapped, I feel stuck, I hate my life, I'm miserable, depression is plaguing my existence, I'm anxious all the time, I don't like where I am, I don't love myself, I don't respect myself, I don't care for myself, my self-worth is at an ultimate low, I don't know why. the why comes from addressing your past. So a lot of us right now, a lot of you are running from your past, but it's caught up to you, babe. Like, it's not even just caught up to you, it's so far advanced, it's in your future unless you address it, right? Like, your past experiences have been passing the baton around in your life for ages, and you haven't even known that it's happening. Like, it's been so subconscious in your life. You have no clue that your past experiences have been passing on this particular thing from year to year, this particular experience from year to year, this particular habit from year to year, this particular behavior from year to year, this particular thinking pattern from year to year, this particular thing from year to year has been happening subconsciously because of your past experiences. But because you refuse to acknowledge them, it's going to continue to do that. It's going to continue to get away with all the things that you don't want to keep happening, because you are not saying, hey, I acknowledge you, I see you, I recognize that you are the issue, and I'm no longer allowing you to have power in my life. Until you do that, you'll be stuck in this loop. And that was a revelation that I had today. Do you want a revolution? Whoop, whoop. Do you want a revolution? Whoop, whoop. I'm going to leave it there. I love you. I'll see you next video. Besitos.